Noah Langston adjusted his baseball cap lower over his eyes as he pushed through the glass doors of the Chicky Pop restaurant. The familiar yellow and red decor greeted him, but something felt off. The floor tiles showed scuff marks that should have been mopped hours ago, and the serving counter had a thin film of grease that made Noah's stomach turn. As the founder and CEO of the national fast food chain, he had built Chicky Pop from a single food truck into a billion-dollar operation with over 500 locations across the country. But this franchise in Houston's East Side had been showing troubling numbers for months. "Just a 6-piece nugget meal with fries, please," Noah said, keeping his voice casual. The teenager behind the counter barely looked up from her phone, punching in the order without enthusiasm. No smile, no. "Thank you for choosing Chicky Pop," the greeting that was supposed to be standard at every location. Strike one. The dining area was half empty despite it being the lunch rush. Noah chose a corner booth where he could observe the operation while remaining inconspicuous in his jeans and plain t-shirt. No one would recognize the 53-year-old man with 3-day stubble as the same polished executive whose portrait hung in the company headquarters. Number 42 was called after several minutes. Noah collected his tray and returned to his seat. The smell rising from the box should have made his mouth water. Chicky Pop's signature nuggets had a distinct aroma, a blend of 11 herbs and spices that Noah had perfected in his mother's kitchen 20 years ago. It was the recipe that had put him on the map, the taste that customers kept coming back for. But something was different. Noah opened the box and studied the golden brown nuggets. They looked similar enough at first glance, though perhaps a shade darker than they should be. He picked one up, noting it felt lighter than normal, and took a bite. His taste buds immediately sent alarm signals to his brain. The texture was wrong, too spongy with an artificial aftertaste that the real Chicky Pop nuggets never had. After 20 years of perfecting his recipe, Noah could identify his product blindfolded. This wasn't it. He set the half-eaten nugget down, fighting the urge to spit it out. Years of business instinct kicked in as he carefully lifted the paper tray from the box. Underneath, partially hidden and clearly not meant to be seen by customers, was a small packaging slip. Noah's eyes narrowed as he read the unfamiliar supplier name, Value Poultry Distribution. Chicky Pop had exactly 2 authorized poultry suppliers nationwide. Neither was called Value Poultry. Every franchise owner knew this. It was outlined in the 2-inch thick contract they signed. Using unauthorized suppliers was grounds for immediate termination of the franchise agreement. Noah's phone buzzed. It was a text from Alicia, his VP of Operations, who had helped coordinate this undercover visit. "How's it going? Any red flags?" Noah typed back. "You could say that. They're not serving our product. Get me everything we have on a supplier called Value Poultry." 3 dots appeared as Alicia typed her response. "What? That's not one of ours." Digging now. Noah glanced around the restaurant, studying the employees with new eyes. Were they all in on it or just following orders from management? He noticed a younger worker at the drive-thru window, maybe 19 or 20, looking stressed as he handed orders to waiting cars. The boy's eyes kept darting to the back office where a woman in her 40s sat behind a desk rapidly typing on a computer. That would be Renee Pohl's son, the franchise manager. Noah had reviewed her file that morning. 10 years with Chicky Pop, the last 3 running this location. Solid performance reviews until 8 months ago, when customer complaints started trickling in. Food quality issues primarily. Now Noah understood why. He pulled out his phone and discreetly took photos of the nuggets and the packaging slip. Then he pressed the restaurant's number into his phone. "Chicky Pop East Side. How can I help you?" answered a bored voice. "This is Noah Langston," he said, dropping the casual tone he'd been using. "I'd like to speak with Renee Pohl's son immediately." There was a pause, followed by a muffled conversation. Noah watched as the drive-thru worker hurried to the office, gesturing frantically. The woman behind the desk stood up suddenly, her face paling as she took the phone. "Mr. Langston, this is Renee. What can I do for you?" Her voice was steady, professional, but Noah could hear the undertone of panic. "I'm in your restaurant right now, Renee. Table by the window." I'd like you to join me, please. He watched her eyes scan the dining area until they landed on him. Recognition dawned on her face as she connected his voice to the unassuming man in the baseball cap. Noah raised his hand in a small wave, holding her gaze. Of course, sir. Right away. Noah ended the call and waited. His heart was pounding, but not from nervousness. This was fury, controlled, calculated fury. Someone was undermining his life's work, compromising the quality that customers trusted, and they were about to learn that Noah Langston protected what was his. Renee emerged from the office, smoothing her red Chicky Pop polo shirt. She plastered on a smile that didn't reach her eyes as she approached his table. Mr. Langston, what a surprise! If I'd known you were coming, you would have served me the real Chicky Pop nuggets instead of these knockoffs. Noah finished, pushing the box toward her. Sit down, Renee. We need to talk about value poultry distribution and why you're serving their product instead of mine. The color drained from Renee's face as she slid into the booth across from him. Behind her, employees had started to whisper, sensing something significant was happening. Noah activated the voice recorder on his phone and placed it on the table between them. Now, he said quietly, leaning forward. Let's start with a simple question. How long have you been deceiving our customers? Renee's hands trembled slightly as she clasped them together on the table. Mr. Langston, there must be some misunderstanding. We've made no changes to our recipes or suppliers. Noah tapped the packaging slip with his index finger. Then explain this, Renee. Value Poultry Distribution isn't an authorized Chicky Pop supplier. His voice remained low, controlled. I just ate one of those nuggets. I created that recipe. I know when someone's serving an imitation. Renee's eyes darted to the door, as if calculating an escape route. Supply chain issues, Mr. Langston. We've all been dealing with them since the pandemic. Sometimes deliveries don't arrive and we have to improvise to keep the doors open. Improvise? Noah raised an eyebrow. Our contract explicitly prohibits using unauthorized suppliers. If you had supply problems, protocol is to contact headquarters. There's no record of such a call from this location. The voice recorder continued capturing every word as Renee's excuses grew more elaborate. Her story shifted from supply chain issues to computer glitches in the ordering system to a misunderstanding with the delivery driver. Show me your supply logs for the past 3 months, Noah said. They're being updated. I can have them for you tomorrow. Noah leaned back, studying her. 20 years of business negotiations had taught him to read people. Renee wasn't just nervous. She was hiding something substantial. Let me be clear, Noah said, gathering the half-eaten nuggets back into their box. I'm taking these for testing. I'll have results within 24 hours. If there's something you want to tell me before those results come back, now's your chance. Renee straightened her shoulders, a flash of defiance crossing her features. We maintain Chicky Pop standards here, Mr. Langston. Perhaps your taste buds are off today. Noah stood, tucking the nugget box into his jacket pocket. The recorder continued running. We'll see. In the meantime, I'm installing a quality assurance team here starting tomorrow morning. They'll report directly to me. That's really not necessary, Renee began. It wasn't a suggestion. Noah cut her off. I built this company from nothing, Miss Pole's son. Every Chicky Pop restaurant carries my family name and my mother's recipe. I don't take that lightly. As Noah walked toward the exit, he noticed the young drive-thru worker watching him with a mixture of fear and, was that relief? The boy quickly looked away when their eyes met. Outside, Noah slid into his rental car and immediately called Alicia. I need our mobile testing lab at the Starlight Hotel in an hour. And get me everything you can on Renee Pole's son, personal life, finances, family connections. Something's very wrong here. The laboratory technician, Dr. Maya, arrived at Noah's hotel suite promptly. A compact food testing unit was wheeled in behind her. This won't take long, she assured him, pulling on latex gloves. We're looking for compositional analysis, correct? Noah nodded. I need to know if these match our proprietary blend. For the next 40 minutes, Noah paced while Dr. Maya conducted her tests. His phone buzzed with a message from Alicia. Found something. Renee Polson's brother-in-law owns a poultry processing plant outside Houston. Small operation called Horizon Foods. Guess who owns Value Poultry Distribution? The same guy. Noah's jaw tightened. This wasn't just a supply mistake. It was deliberate. Mr. Langston, Dr. Maya called. I have the results. She handed him a tablet showing 2 chemical composition charts side by side. The left is our control, authentic Chicky Pop nuggets. The right is from your sample today. The differences are highlighted. Noah didn't need the highlights. The charts were drastically different. Different proteins, different fat ratios, different preservatives entirely. These aren't just different batches, Dr. Maya explained. These are completely different products. Can you determine the source? Noah asked. Not specifically, but I can tell you they're using inferior quality chicken with nearly 40% more filler. They've attempted to mimic our seasoning profile, but it's a crude approximation. Noah thanked her and placed another call to Alicia once the technician had packed up and left. The tests confirm it. They're selling knockoffs as Chicky Pop products. His voice was tight with controlled anger. I want auditors at that location tomorrow morning, and I want a background check on everyone in management there. Already on it, Alicia replied. There's more. 3 other Chicky Pop locations in the Houston area have shown similar profit-to-supply discrepancies, all managed by people connected to Renee in some way. Noah sat heavily on the edge of the hotel bed. This wasn't an isolated incident. It was systematic fraud. How did we miss this? He asked, more to himself than Alicia. Their reports all checked out on paper. Everything looked normal. She paused. Until you actually tasted the food. Noah thought of the customers who had been served inferior products while paying full price for what they believed was Chicky Pop quality. His company's reputation, his family's legacy, being undermined for someone else's profit. I'm going back tomorrow, he decided. But not as myself. I want to see how deep this goes before Renee has time to cover her tracks. As he hung up, Noah's resolve hardened. He hadn't built Chicky Pop from a food truck to a national chain by backing down from challenges. Someone was stealing from him, stealing his recipes, his reputation, and his customers' trust. And Noah Langston was about to show them exactly why that was a terrible mistake. The morning sun had barely crested the Houston skyline when Noah returned to the Chicky Pop restaurant. This time he wore khaki slacks and a button-down shirt with a clipboard in hand, the universal uniform of corporate inspectors everywhere. A pair of non-prescription glasses and a temporary ID badge that read "Quality Assurance" completed his disguise. Alicia had spent the night piecing together what they knew. The picture growing clearer with each revelation was far uglier than Noah had initially suspected. You're good to go, Alicia said through Noah's earpiece as he approached the restaurant. I've configured your tablet to access their system remotely. Their registers, supply chain management, everything. And they won't detect this? Noah murmured, adjusting his fake glasses. Not a chance. I've masked it as routine system maintenance. The morning crew was already busy preparing for the breakfast rush when Noah pushed through the doors. A young shift supervisor named Marcus greeted him with visible anxiety. Mr. Johnson from corporate? He asked, using the fake name Noah had given when he called ahead. That's right, Noah replied, extending his hand. Annual quality review. I'll need access to your storage areas and supply records. Marcus led him to the back, past the kitchen where employees glanced nervously at the clipboard-wielding stranger. Noah noted that Renee wasn't present. Her shift apparently started later. Supply invoices are all digital now, Marcus explained, logging into a computer terminal in the storage room. I think Miss Polson keeps some paper backups in her office, though. Noah nodded, taking the seat offered. I'll start here. Could you prepare samples of all protein products currently in stock? Raw and cooked, please. Once alone, Noah connected his tablet to the terminal and let Alicia's software do its work. Within minutes, he was downloading every invoice, order form, and delivery receipt from the past year. "I'm in," he whispered to Alicia, accessing their supply chain records. What he found made his blood boil. The official Chicky Pop system showed normal orders from authorized suppliers, regular shipments of the company's proprietary chicken blend, packaging, and ingredients. But the actual deliveries told a different story. "They're keeping 2 sets of books," Noah said quietly. "The system shows orders from our suppliers, but the delivery receipts are all from Value Poultry. They're falsifying records. I'm cross-checking with our main suppliers now," Alicia confirmed in his ear. "They haven't shipped to this location in over 7 months. Noah clicked through more files, finding a hidden folder labeled Simply VP. Inside were the real invoices, significantly lower costs for knockoff products that were pale imitations of Chicky Pop's carefully developed recipes. A new message from Alicia flashed on his screen. "Value Poultry Distribution isn't just supplying this location. I've found connections to 5 Chicky Pop franchises in the Houston area, all showing normal orders in our system, but 0 actual deliveries from our suppliers." Noah's heart sank. This wasn't one rogue manager. It was a network. He pressed deeper, following the money trail. Bank transfers from each location were being split, the expected amount to Chicky Pop Corporate to avoid suspicion, but significantly smaller. Payments to Value Poultry for the actual supplies. The difference, nearly 40% of food costs, was being pocketed somewhere. "Got the final piece," Alicia messaged. Value Poultry Distribution was incorporated 18 months ago by Daniel Reeves, Renee Polson's brother-in-law. He also owns Horizon Foods, a small poultry processor that lost its FDA certification last year for health violations. Noah leaned back, the full picture emerging with sickening clarity. They weren't only serving inferior products but potentially dangerous ones from a facility that couldn't pass basic health inspections. A knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. Marcus entered with a tray of raw and cooked chicken samples. "Here's everything we currently have in stock, sir." Noah thanked him, then asked casually, "How long have you worked with Miss Polson?" Marcus shifted uncomfortably. "About 9 months. She brought me over from another location when she took over here." "And how do you like it?" The young man hesitated. "It's fine. Miss Polson runs a tight ship." "I bet she does," Noah mused. "Tell me, Marcus, have you noticed anything unusual about your supplies recently? Any changes in vendors or delivery procedures?" Marcus's eyes darted to the door, checking if anyone might be listening. "I'm not really involved in ordering. That's Miss Polson's domain. She's very particular about it." "I see," Noah said, making a note on his clipboard. "And if someone wanted to, say, report concerns about supplies or quality, what's the procedure here?" The supervisor's face tightened. "We're encouraged to bring concerns to Miss Polson directly, not to corporate. Miss Polson prefers to handle issues internally, says it creates a better team environment." Marcus lowered his voice. "Between us, the last guy who made noise about the suppliers suddenly found himself with reduced hours until he quit." Noah nodded, writing something down. "Thank you for your candor. I may have more questions later." After Marcus left, Noah rapidly photographed every sample with a special app that analyzed color, texture, and visual composition. None matched Chicky Pop standards. He was packaging the samples for laboratory testing when his tablet pinged with an urgent message from Alicia. "Check your email. Found internal communication between Renee and other franchise managers. They're all in on it together." The emails were damning. Renee had methodically recruited other franchise managers into her scheme, offering them a cut of the savings for switching to her brother-in-law's cheaper products while maintaining the fiction of using official suppliers. "How many locations total?" Noah typed. 12 confirmed so far, all in Texas. Started small with just this location, then expanded. They've been siphoning off an estimated $1.2 million in fraudulent profits while serving substandard food to customers. Noah felt his chest tighten with anger. His company, his reputation built over decades, was being exploited by people he trusted. His phone buzzed with a text alert. Renee Polson just entered the building. It was time for the next phase. Noah straightened his fake glasses and gathered his materials. He wasn't just going to catch Renee Poulson. He was going to dismantle her entire fraudulent network. And by the time he was finished, everyone involved would learn exactly why crossing Noah Langston was the biggest mistake of their careers. Over the next 2 hours, Noah interviewed 8 employees. Most were guarded, offering only bland positive comments about their work environment. The script was too similar to be coincidental. Great place to work. No issues with supplies. Miss Poulson runs a good team. The afternoon shift arrived, bringing fresh faces who hadn't been briefed on what to say to the corporate inspector. Noah singled out a younger kitchen worker named Tasha, who'd been glancing nervously in his direction. Her Chicky Pop name tag looked newer than the others. "How long have you worked here, Tasha?" Noah asked once they were seated in the break room. 3 weeks, sir. She fidgeted with her apron. "This is my first real job. And how's the training been? Everything up to company standards?" Tasha hesitated. "I guess so. I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to." Noah leaned forward. "Tasha, everything we discuss is confidential. Your manager won't know what you tell me." Her eyes darted to the door. "Miss Poulson has ways of finding things out." "What do you mean by that?" Tasha took a deep breath. "Look, I need this job. My mom's sick and I'm helping with bills. But some things here don't seem right." Noah kept his expression neutral. "Can you elaborate? The chicken we use? It comes in these plain boxes, not the Chicky Pop ones I see in the training videos." She lowered her voice further. "And James, he worked here before me. He told me never to mention it if I wanted to keep my job." "Did James say anything else?" "Just that someone got fired for asking too many questions about the supplies." Tasha glanced at the door again. "Miss Poulson made us all sign these papers last week. Non-disclosure agreements, she called them. Said it was standard for all employees, but James said they never had to sign anything like that before." Noah made notes, his anger growing. "Have you noticed anything else unusual?" Tasha hesitated again before continuing. "There's this guy who delivers supplies on Tuesdays and Fridays. He's not in a Chicky Pop truck. Miss Poulson always handles those deliveries personally, and we're told to stay in the front during unloading." "One more question, Tasha. Has anyone ever tried to report these issues to corporate?" The young woman's eyes widened slightly. "Carlos did. He was assistant manager before Marcus. Called some hotline about quality concerns. 2 days later, Miss Poulson said he'd been transferred to another location, but Dion in the kitchen said he saw Carlos's uniform in the trash." Noah thanked her for her honesty and moved on to his next interview. As the afternoon progressed, he pieced together a disturbing picture. Several employees referenced others who had suddenly transferred after raising concerns. One mentioned intercepted emails. Another described being scheduled for only 10 hours a week after questioning a delivery. His last interview was with a senior cook named Dion who had been with Chicky Pop for over 5 years. The man was initially as guarded as the others, but Noah sensed he had more to say. "Dion, I know about the value poultry deliveries," Noah said bluntly. "I know about the fake invoices and the intimidation. What I need to know is how far up this goes." Dion stared at him for a long moment. "Who did you say you were again?" Noah made a decision. He removed his fake glasses and leaned closer. "My name is Noah Langston. I founded Chicky Pop, and I need your help to clean up my company." Dion's eyes widened in recognition. Sir, I had no idea. That was the point. Now tell me everything." The floodgates opened. Dion described how Renee had gradually replaced all management staff with friends and relatives, instituted new security protocols that prevented anyone from seeing delivery invoices, and created a culture of fear where questioning anything meant losing hours or being fired outright. "We tried telling corporate," Dion said, defeat in his voice. "Carlos sent emails with photos. I called the employee hotline twice. Nothing ever happened. Because Renee was intercepting the complaints," Noah explained, showing Dion what they'd found. She has admin access to the regional reporting system. She's been deleting complaints before they reach headquarters. Dion's face darkened. So we've been serving garbage to customers for months, and nobody at corporate even knew. I know now, Noah said firmly. And it stops today. As they concluded the interview, Noah's tablet pinged with a message from Alicia. Police and FDA investigators are standing by. Legal team has prepared cease and desist orders for all 12 locations. On your signal. Noah stood, thanking Dion for his courage. Stay for the closing shift today. You won't regret it. As he exited the break room, Noah spotted Renee watching him from her office, phone pressed to her ear. He could read the panic in her posture. She knew something was wrong but had no idea of the reckoning that was about to descend on her fraudulent operation. It was time to drop the disguise and show Renee Polson and her co-conspirators exactly who they had been stealing from. Noah stepped outside the restaurant and dialed Alicia. It's time. Bring in the team. Within 20 minutes, 3 black SUVs pulled into the Chicky Pop parking lot. From them emerged Alicia, flanked by Chicky Pop's chief legal counsel, 2 corporate security officers, and a forensic accounting team. They moved with practiced efficiency, having coordinated this operation throughout the night. Everyone clear on their roles? Noah asked as they gathered briefly outside the entrance. Alicia nodded. Crystal clear. Simultaneous operations are launching at the other 11 locations as we speak. Noah straightened his tie, no more disguises, and led the team through the doors. The sudden arrival of suited professionals brought the restaurant to a standstill. Customers paused mid-bite. Employees froze in place, and the background music seemed suddenly too cheerful for the tension filling the air. Attention everyone, Noah announced, his voice carrying across the restaurant. I'm Noah Langston, founder and CEO of Chicky Pop. I need all employees to gather in the dining area immediately. Customers, we apologize for the interruption. Your meals today are complimentary, but we must temporarily suspend operations. Whispers erupted among the staff as they recognized the man whose portrait hung in the break room. Renee emerged from her office, her face a mask of professional concern that couldn't quite hide her panic. Mr. Langston, what's going on? If there's been some misunderstanding, there's no misunderstanding, Miss Polson. Noah cut her off. Security will escort you to the conference room. We have much to discuss. As corporate security guided Renee away, Noah addressed the assembled staff. Some looked confused, others terrified, and a few, like Dion and Tasha, bore expressions of vindication. I want to be transparent about what's happening, Noah began. For months, this location has been serving counterfeit products under the Chicky Pop name. Many of you suspected something was wrong. Some of you tried to report it and were silenced. Murmurs rippled through the group. Noah held up his hand. This isn't your fault. You were manipulated and threatened by management that put profits above integrity. Today that ends. He gestured to Alicia, who stepped forward. We're temporarily closing this location for a complete overhaul, she explained. All of you will remain on paid leave during this process. Our HR team will conduct individual interviews with each of you over the next few days. Those who cooperate fully will have job security. Those who participated knowingly in the fraud will face consequences. In the conference room, Noah found Renee sitting rigidly at the table, her lawyer already on speakerphone advising her to remain silent. That's your right, Noah said, taking a seat across from her. But it won't change the evidence we've uncovered. He opened a laptop displaying the falsified invoices, intercepted complaints, and bank transfers to Value Poultry Distribution. With each new document, Renee's composed facade cracked further. We've frozen all assets connected to you, your brother-in-law, and the shell companies you created, Noah continued. The FDA has been notified about Horizon Foods violations. The police are currently executing search warrants at all 12 compromised locations. Renee's lawyer instructed her again not to speak, but something in her seemed to snap. You don't understand, she blurted out. We had no choice. The pandemic crushed us. Supply costs doubled overnight. Corporate wouldn't help. They just kept demanding the same profit margins while everything around us collapsed. Noah leaned forward. So you decided to serve potentially unsafe food to families, to children? That was your solution. The food is fine, just cheaper. Her voice faltered as Noah slid the laboratory report across the table. Chicken with excessive fillers, preservatives not approved for food use in the United States. Batches processed in a facility that lost FDA certification due to repeated health violations. His voice hardened. You didn't just compromise quality, Renee. You put people at risk. The conference room door opened as Marcus was led in by security. His face fell when he saw Renee. Mr. Langston, he began nervously. I want to cooperate fully. I didn't know how deep it went when I started. Renee said it was just temporary cost cutting. Start from the beginning, Noah instructed, activating a recorder. For the next hour, Marcus detailed how Renee had gradually expanded the scheme, bringing in other franchise managers with promises of enhanced profits. He confirmed that complaints to corporate had been systematically intercepted and deleted. Employees who raised concerns were intimidated or forced out. By late afternoon, similar scenes had played out across all 12 compromised locations. Alicia coordinated the operations from a makeshift command center in the restaurant's party room, providing regular updates to Noah. We've secured all the evidence, she reported. FDA investigators have seized food samples from every location. The local news has picked up the story, so we need to issue a statement soon. Noah nodded, feeling the weight of the situation. This scandal could devastate Chicky Pop's reputation, one built meticulously over 2 decades. He gathered the corporate team. Here's how we handle this: complete transparency. We acknowledge the fraud, emphasized that it was limited to these 12 locations, and detailed the steps we're taking to ensure it never happens again. The press will crucify us, the PR director warned. Then we take the hit, Noah said firmly. I built this company on quality and trust. I won't sacrifice either to protect our stock price.